Oh, that's cool.
All the RJ Reynolds people were in here.
Look at this elevator contraption.
The length of it and this width right here was the original chicken coop. It's a downhill front straightaway and an uphill back straightaway.
We're going to get to see the inside.
It's chicken, apples, things like that's what made this place. This was race control for NASCAR right here.
This is in incredible shape.
Did you think that the first track that Monte Carlo would be on would be North Wilkesboro?
Never ever. Here it is. Over the hill and seeing that stuff out there is you just would not expect it anywhere out here. It's just farmland, hills, and little houses, and then boom, racetrack.
Think of how grand this place was back in its heyday. Like,
Yeah.
think 1946 when this thing was built. This was like insane. Not all of it was here, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, this is the big time stuff. Here we are at North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's coming back and we're gonna bring it to you, everything in there exactly the way it is before it all gets, you know, ripped out, redone, freshened up to get used again, whatever they're gonna do with it. This may be the first time anyone has ever done a full in-depth video tour of this place in its current condition, and it may be the last time that's ever done. Our goal here is to show everyone what this place looks like before it is renovated for use again, because right now it's a time capsule and we're gonna dive in. We gotta go find Ronnie, the guy that manages the property here, grew up around here, he knows everything, so we're told this is gonna be fun. That's a cool picture. And we drove the Monte Carlo up here because we felt like we had to, and it is really cool to see that car sitting at this racetrack. Well, here he is. This is Ronnie.
I'm the director of operations for SMI at the North Wilkesboro Speedway.
And how long have you been associated with this track?
Well, pretty much all my life. My Uncle Paul has been here pretty much since 47, and then permanent residency in 64. He's just been a real asset. It's been awesome to come down and grow up here. Him and my dad were good friends, just like brothers. He married my dad's sister, and you know, it's just, when you've been here all your life, you know, you just grew up at this place.
So your uncle's Paul Call?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We know who he is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Paul Call.
The Paul Call, that's right.
We want to see the, you know, the history of all the buildings, what they are and everything. What is this right here?
Well, this is where it started out, where the North Wilkesboro ticket office signs at. That was an old chicken coop or a chicken house, whatever you want to call it, a little small, had a dirt floor, and there's pictures, you know, out there that's documented showing it. They started selling tickets. It was a dirt floor. Bill France Sr.'s wife, Annie, she come down and she sold tickets here on a dirt floor. That's just something you've heard all your life.
And that block structure was originally built as a chicken coop?
The original structure right here. The length of it and this width right here was the original chicken coop.
Wow.
Yep.
So I did not know that.
Yes. And then later along, they extended it up to here, and what that extension entailed was just bigger ticket windows to sell tickets out of, and just a little more office space where Enix Sisters was at. Like I said, this was the newer, and when you get through this other door, that's all the original in there. All the original stuff.
Is there anything, like, see there's Winston on the door and stuff?
Yeah, nothing major in there hanging up. No, nothing.
Nothing cool.
No artifacts. Nope. All that stuff's gone.
Just paneling.
Just bare walls. Cinder block walls are in there. The original place. So, you know, just it starts there, and a lot of history. A lot of history. That was one of the original. That's one of the original concession stands. All the old pictures you see shows this area right here as being one of the original concession stands on top, concession stand on the bottom. So they called them. And
so that was like the first one.
Yes,
then?
that's the first
one. So
one.
there was a ramp to get up the grandstands.
That one, they really had that one, and they had one down in the infield. Two, matter of fact, they had an old cinder block one that we've tore down, and then the old scores tower was an outside scoring tower, plus it had a concession underneath for the infield and the pit people, you know, mostly the pit people.
Interesting.
Yes.
That's cool.
So then you go to the Winston Tower. That was built in the 70s and pretty much luxurious, you know, in that day. To go up here and see it.
Is this going to be kept with the renovation?
Yes, this stays with the renovation. Yes, sir, it does. And just some minor tweaking, on it. It's got a place or two it's leaking, but overall it's pretty good.
Yeah, this is the block building. How much could go wrong with it?
Right.
We're going to get to see the inside.
It's an awesome structure. Really going back in time, you know, when you walk in. This was where the food already prepared come into here and stayed under warmers and different things, and then the folks started serving it and they brought it out into an area. They had this was like a gathering area, and then over here was like the place they could actually get their food and sit around the bar. Pretty awesome.
Wow.
Pretty awesome. Restrooms there. Pretty good shape for the age of the building. It's in pretty good shape.
This is not bad at all.
225 air-conditioned seats. Still got the Winston look.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is in not bad shape in here at all.
No,
I would have thought it would be worse.
Yeah,
But this is fine.
It's absolutely awesome, and Barry's going to use this during the August and October races.
That's insane.
Sure enough. 225 seats, like I say, and air conditioned, speakers so you could hear. Just really nice in its day as far as comfort.
So this was added in the 70s?
Yes.
Were all the corporate guests of Winston?
Yes, yes. And different folks, I mean, there was different clientele came in here. This is one of the first concession stands. It's a good structure. All it needs is a new roof. And
all
then,
the hand lettering's really cool.
oh yeah, had a guy from down in Hamptonville named Bill Brown. He did all the signs here. He hand painted every sign. You needed a sign, you go to Bill Brown, he'd have it done for you in a little while. Just no matter what it needed to say, he'd have it done.
That's cool.
Especially week of race.
We were wondering that. Are you going to have hand lettered signs again?
Well, I don't know that, but I think that would be awesome to keep it. They're wanting to keep it retro, so I think that'd be awesome to do that.
Yeah, we think so too.
I really do. So many things that I think would be awesome.
Well, when were these boxes built up here?
These were the latter ones. These were early 90s, and these are going to stay, and they're in immaculate shape. They got some little things, you know, maybe a small roof leak here and there. Got a wasp nest somewhere.
No way.
Oh my gosh, my grandma had this carpet.
You know, you can see what this was. It was luxury. There's the bar, and they had tables in here. They had food. Most of the time the food was here, and you could kind of lounge down here. Then,
this is in incredible shape.
yes, one piece of Lexan they busted out, but that gets put back. And like I said, Barry's talking about using this one and that one, both.
Wow.
Just a great view.
This is awesome.
Air conditioned. Just an awesome place.
It really is.
That's the same chair I saw yesterday.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of
Yeah, I
these.
got a trailer load of chairs over there just like that. I put them in the driveway. There's a trailer load here.
Even these seats are like, these are fine. This is insane. I never would have thought
Don't
that.
you like the paneling? I mean, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, you keep the paneling.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right.
When did the roof blow off the bathrooms down there?
That's been probably 09, 08, 09 probably.
Was there a big storm that came through here?
Partly, yeah. A big windstorm came through and tore up some stuff, and then that caused it to leak more. And it got to be to the point that the leaking's so dramatic, you know, you can't do nothing about it. But all this is good. This is in great shape. That right there is where the concession folks that looked after the concession, they like especially sometimes 2 weeks prior to the race, this depends, but definitely the week of the race, they stayed in that. They didn't even go to their house. They lived here locally, but That was their little old apartment that they could stay in, got all the comforts of home.
Wow.
And all these things here was different things, like anywhere from a lemonade stand to a souvenir place where they sold souvenirs. All those were built at the same time. All the history just gets more and more as you go down through here, because this was one of the first original, as you see the old pictures, this was the first original structure that was the press box or the PA speakers and all that stuff.
What year was this built?
Well, there's pictures going back in the late 60s. This was standing here, you know what I'm saying? This was the first one, and then like I said, this would become where Benny Parsons and Bob Jenkins done ESPN in here. All your ESPN stuff went out of here.
Wow.
It's just immaculate, no leaks. No leaks, just thank the Lord the vandalism hadn't really got a hole right here, you know, like it has other places. We're back again, and this is the press box where all your press would be. Everybody, the riders for NASCAR or whoever would be.
I feel like we're not supposed to drive up here, but we are.
Still in plastic wrap.
Like they knew how to build things back then. So you gotta turn it on.
We're checking out every square inch of this place today.
This is the old volume shop. This room is a documentary in and of itself.
It was the last Cup Series race here ever.
Yeah, that is awesome.
You don't really understand the banking here unless you're actually here.
You want to see the boneyard?
I want to see the boneyard.
If we saw a dead body in there, man, that would go so viral.
In this room, back in the day.
They weren't very tall back in the
No,
day.
they wasn't very tall. Yeah, there's nothing on there, thank the Lord, I just seen that. There wasn't nothing on there. Matter of fact, we need to tear that down so there won't be no chance of it.
The one right here, there was a few.
Oh, okay, I've got to come back and spray some more. It's getting time to start that because they're going to be. So anyway, this was race control for NASCAR right here. This was both rooms of race control. So this is still, like I said, this is a good building. Be able to hopefully use this in August and October. And so this next room was where MRN, we call him the voice of NASCAR, Barney Hall. He's sitting in this room right here. What a great friend was right here in this room. And a lot of it was soundproofed and the vandals just tore it off. But this is where your MRN radio station would have been coming live from right here.
Wow.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yep. So just a real good building. Still this old paneling look, great paneling.
I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Just takes you back to the day.
Paneling's gonna make a comeback.
Oh, it is. I'm sure. No doubt. It's no doubt.
Wow, this is cool.
So, like I said, most of the history. There's take you one of them. Most of it, take you one of them right there. There you go. Whole pack. Most of the history is here, but there's history throughout the whole ground.
What was the big water tank for?
Water tank was, this thing was run by whales, and so you had to have holding tanks of storage water, and then pumps to pump it around the facility. So that's sort of what that was. Sowing this grass for me in the infield, getting it ready for August so he can have some grass standing up. So, you know, later on they fixed this for a rescue station, you know, and then early on this was one of the concession stands, and you actually stood here in a long line to order here. So then later, you know, they moved it backwards and the concession stands back there, and they had this area where you could eat, had tables set up. So naturally your crowd wasn't standing out here in your crowd.
That makes sense.
So
do you remember standing in this line when it was functional?
I do. I remember coming down through here to see what kind of problem was going on. And,
so did you work at the track when it was working?
I actually did, yes. I actually grew up and wound up working here. And it was an awesome thing to do, you know, just being able to come down when all of it was growing. So here's the Winston Suite up here, another old building here. Come on later. Wow. So this is where all the RJ Reynolds people pretty much stayed in here.
Oh, that's cool.
All the RJ Reynolds people were in here. Flossie Johnson, Junior's wife, would make sure everybody had a good time in here, had food.
Did you used to work for Junior?
I did. I worked for Junior Johnson until he closed in 1995, and we won the World Pit Crew Championship in 1995 in Rockingham. And got done with that, and that really helped me. I wound up, I helped my friends at Darrell Waltrip's for about 3 races, and then I wound up coming to North Wilkesboro that spring and changing tires for Morgan McClure on the 4 Kodak film car Sterling Marlin was driving, and did that for 3 years. Went to Japan 3 times. As you watch NASCAR at Japan, that we were over there, had an awesome time. And then about 2000, they were deciding to do a Darrell Waltrip farewell tour, and wanted as many of us guys that worked at Juniors could get back together. So I wound up doing that in 2000 and 2001, and that's when I walked away in 01.
Wow.
So it's just.
So you were at Morgan McClure in the boom of the X pipe.
Yes, sir. And
you beat me to it.
Yep. That's
the brand new facility over there off of 81. Just a humongous building, beautiful, man. I mean, it was something to behold. And I told Larry McClure and Ed and Teddy and all those, Jerry, the brothers, I said, man, this is a shame this is not in Boone, North Carolina, 30 minutes from my house. You know, I could work here forever, but it was what it was, and it just. So this was the Winston Lounge, and then you went over here across the hall.
What are these little clips on these things for?
The clips on the...
like every seat has like a little...
Well, that's where they held a card. They had a card that went on there. They had a little card that went on there that maybe told them about some things. Maybe it had their name on it, like a card with their name, so they'd know where they were sitting.
Makes sense.
Yeah. This was Winston people in this one. This one was the President's Lounge, and President being Enoch Staley down here. You know, this is where if you knew Enoch Staley, then you could, chances are, get you a deal to come in here.
Wasn't he the guy who built the track?
Yes, he was the owner of the racetrack, one of the founders, and you know, just same thing. He had a bar, he had the food.
It's really cool.
His wife Mary cooked all the chicken for these boxes, press and all on Sundays. They had homemade fried chicken and stuff. That was cooked on property.
Was it good?
Oh man, awesome. Fried chicken, awesome. And they loved it. And also, you know, another thing that he did that was awesome is, especially in the fall, the Brushy Mountain apples come in, so he made sure all press had a bag of apples sitting on there when the press come to town.
That's cool.
That was just something that happened here. Chicken, apples, things like that's what made this place.
It's like hometown stuff.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep.
What is it like up here?
Just that real good padded carpet. I mean,
there's like an inch of cushion in here.
You know, you want it.
Wow.
Had a bell to get in. You know, had to ring a bell and they had to let you in if you had the right stuff. They wouldn't let you in if you didn't ring the bell. If you wasn't the right person, you didn't get in.
You mean close the store?
No, I'll be back before the day's over. I'll come back.
So, when your Uncle Paul was here for the last 20 years,
yeah,
what was his routine? What did he do to keep this place together?
You know, pretty much he run the weed eater. He mowed. He done what he could do. You know what I mean? It was a battle. It was a battle to keep trash cans in these suites where the leaks were, and then finally the battle overtook. He couldn't keep the trash cans under the leaks, and then the next thing you know, he needs 5 trash cans, and it's hard to get them over here and dump the water. So
was it just him doing all that?
Him only.
Wow.
Him only. From 96 to 2010. Then we got back in here in 2010. It was pretty decent, you know, and done some things. But then from 2010 to now, that's why you see what's going on right here.
Wow.
So, and then, like I say, these others really don't need to go in them. There's some more storage tanks. pretty much talking about taking these last 3 down before the race in August, just to make it safe. So that's going to happen. And
are they going to keep the platforms and just take
yes,
the buildings down?
Keeping the platforms, keeping the steel structure, and taking the buildings down and rebuild on them.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, sure enough. And so good view from here. Good view from here. Goodyear building. That's still going to be the Goodyear building. It's a pretty awesome building, and Goodyear will operate out of there, or a tire company. Preferably, I say it's going to be Goodyear. So Goodyear will operate out of there. This other building you see on the far end over there, that will become the safety clean building.
Okay.
And we'll have safety clean and fire issues going on in there with the fire departments and things. And this brown building down here, they're going to keep it. That was what everybody knew as the gas building. That's where the cars, the yellow islands you see down there, that's where the gas pumps was. And so that's going to stay the gas building, and the gas will still be right in that area in an above ground tank.
Okay.
And so, you know, that's going to be pretty awesome to see the gas tank come back, and that be the gas building again. A lot of memories in there for me. A lot of deals were made in there by Junior Johnson, and Dale Earnhardt Sr. made a lot of deals in that building. And
in
Richard
the gas
Childress,
tank building?
Yes.
That little brown thing right there.
Little brown building. Lots of deals made in there. Lots and lots of deals.
Why that thing? It looks like you fit 4 guys in there.
It was just one of Junior and Enoch's friends, Thurman Brown. He run the gas building for Unocal, and everybody wanted to go see Thurman. And then, like I said, it was just a good, peaceful place to go in there for them old guys to tell some stories. And the next thing you know, here comes another guy in wanting to talk to Junior about driving his car or working on the race team or whatever. Lots of things went on. Lots of things went on in that building.
So how's your endeavor getting the lift to work again been going?
Good. Lift works. As you can see, we got it raised up. We raised it all the way up. The cylinders were submerged in water, and I was afraid of that. By them being submerged, they're going to have to be repacked and probably rebuilt, but it works awesome. It's an awesome lift. We put power to it earlier this week, and I went all the way up on it.
Really?
I'm sure they documented some pictures, but you know, it's just, that's an awesome piece of the property also. Enoch wanted something that they were trying to think what we could do to get up to Victory Lane. So some of them already had a drive up Victory Lane at that time and everything. So what he done was got a local company here in town called Lift Bodies, and Lift Bodies put beds like that on Lowe's trucks, Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse now. And that was a bed that was used to put roofing material up on a house. Really? And so that's the same kind of idea that was on the truck back then. And you know, just a really awesome thing to think about right there. How to raise that race car up, open the gate, roll it over to about where that says "We want you back, Victory Lane." Yeah. And just really awesome. Just really awesome. That's so cool. That's such a unique thing.
We're up there. Just think of that. How many legendary people are looking
Yeah,
up
lots
there.
and lots.
How
lots
many pictures there are online.
Well, like I said, your last winner was Jeff Gordon. Earnhardt Sr. was up on there. You know, just really cool place, man.
So whenever they did the late model stuff here in 2010, did that work?
Yes.
It did?
Yes. Yeah, I actually rode up the lift with Chase Elliott, Bill's son. I rode up the lift with him to go to Victory Lane. Wow. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So all that building's staying. It's all good structure. Just, you know, nothing a coat of paint won't fix up in the time it comes. We're going to pretty much leave the walls and everything as they are for the effect of August and October. But after that, everything pretty much gets a new coat of paint put on it and gets ready for 2023.
When were these grandstands added around the turns?
First one, that was trackside camping back in the 80s, late 80s. And then the first one he put up was called the South Grandstand, and it goes over to that higher rise indention you see. Yeah. That was the first South Grandstand, and then the next phase was from there all the way around. Okay. And he did that next phase. They phased out trackside camping, and they went all the way to there. You know, the old Junior Johnson grandstands over there on that other side. they just finally give up. The boards rotted out. A lot of the steel metal, you know, was fatigued and rusty, and so they tore those out of here in 2010, and just the old board type grandstand, and aged them out. And in 2010, that was trackside camping, and I think that's what they're talking for this year in August and October, is that becoming trackside camping.
What was the newer press box over there used for?
That was several suites, 4 suites. These buildings up here, for example, now some of these were like First Union, when it was the First Union 400, they'd come here. That first one up there that's down to the left of North Wilkesboro Speedway, it was the Tyson suite, Holly Farms, whatever. And then the one on the right over the other side, that was the Lowe's suite. And then the scoring stand for NASCAR was where the North Wilkesboro Speedway was.
Okay.
That's where Morris Metcalf and all his guys and girls done the scoring.
When was the garage down there built?
88, I'm gonna speculate 88 to 89. A lot of dirt moved down there. A lot of dirt moved out. Like I said, the grade was like you see it all the way out, and they took all that dirt out and moved it on site.
When it gets all renovated after the events in October over, are they going to keep these seats?
Yes, as far as I understand, these seats stay.
Just take them out and powder coat them, or
I'm not sure.
Paint them where they are?
Not heard anything about that. I don't know what's going to happen on that, but anyway, they are going to stay.
That's good. What do they call this down here? Is this like Chicken Bone Alley or something?
Yeah,
I feel like I've heard that.
That's what it is. Get out of the way of the chicken bone. It sure was. Chicken Bone Alley. Chicken Bone Alley.
Are these blue dots from the iRacing scan?
No, that's where the guys come over here and done these shots for the location on the wall, locations of the wall, so they'll be able to put the walls back. Everything goes right back like it was.
Okay.
Everything goes right back like it was. They want to make sure they document it. I think that last day he come in here, he had 1,600 shots today.
Wow.
Yep.
So they just coordinated everything, and they're going to tear these walls out.
Oh, no. These walls will stay. Safer barriers goes in. There's some wall work to do in turn 1 and turn 2. But after the wall work's done and the safety barriers go in, you know, all this stuff's good.
What is it?
Yes.
Does this say something in here?
Yeah. Yeah, it sure does.
Something 1984.
Right.
I guess that's when that was poured.
Yep, sure was.
Do you write your name on any of those?
No, I didn't ever get to do that. The helicopter from our care would land up there on the pavement and had its own care center here for first aid. And then
when did they paint over the Winston Cup thing?
2010. So this was, both these doors were media. Not much in there to look at, but that's where your media was. And then the concession stand was on this end. Not
Man,
much
that's
to
so
see
cool.
in either one of those. They pulled everything out so we can kind of see the structure and see what kind of shape it's in. This is what we call the mechanical building, with all the power, all power coming under the speedway, coming to here, and then leaving here to go out to the different areas. We're in the stages of getting that now. We're in the stages of getting power.
Have you ever climbed up into the scoreboard?
I've been up in there a couple of times.
What's that?
2010, I didn't like much in there. It was a lot of bird nests built. And, yeah, it's pretty hot up in there too. A day like today, it's hot in there.
Is Tyson gonna play a part?
Well, I hope so. I sure hope so. Got a lot of friends there pulling to get it back. You know what I mean?
That'd be cool.
It would be awesome. This was your driver's lounge, 2 doors for the driver's lounge, and it basically had couches and comfortable chairs. They could go in there, their wives and whatever could go in there, and place together, had showers and all that stuff. It was a real awesome room.
Oh yeah, it was before the motor coach era.
Oh,
the guys would stay in
way before
hotels.
the motor coach era. Yes, sir.
I never thought about tracks having showers for that.
I know what you're saying.
When-
Way before the motor coach era.
When they just had the Cozy Comfort conversion van things, where did they park at? Where was that parked?
About right here.
Right here?
Yep. In other words, this was a fenced-in lot right here, and when they got in there, they were secure.
So whenever Dale Jr. talks about watching races on top of the van, they
Yep.
were parked in here.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly right. We've already started doing the original fencing. We're going to whitewash it back just like the original was. So
Original to what year?
original to the 80s. 80s.
Okay.
Like, you know, that fence was up in probably early 80s to all throughout the 80s into the 90s.
Okay.
And it just recently this year kind of just started blowing down, wind blowing it down, rotted out.
You watch, you know, stuff on the internet, different races here. The way the track looks has changed a lot. Is there like a specific era or year range that you guys are trying to model from? Like you said, that's like the 80s fence, or, you know.
Not really. You're trying to keep it as close to retro as you can. There's a lot of things you can't change. You know, it's a downhill front straightaway and an uphill back straightaway. That's unique. There's no other one like it that I know of. And so, you know, you could have all the horsepower in the world, but if you couldn't get off turn 2, you couldn't make up no time. You know, you had to be able to get off turn 2 and you had to be able to go into 1.
Huh.
You know, it just
I was never alive to witness this place.
well, I'm sorry.
Closed a few months after I was born, so
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know it sucks.
Right.
I wish I was born earlier sometimes.
You can see some of it, you know, and basically, you know, all the stories, and now you just need to follow up, see what it was all about, and they're just telling them to try to run it like it was then. I know it's 2022, but you know, run it like it was then.
We are hoping that people will be watching this years from now, after this is all done. They can go back and say, wow, that's what it looked like before they did that.
Right. That's awesome.
What would you want to say to future people not to forget?
Well, I just want to say that I hope they have as much fun as our family has, because it's meant a lot to us. And you know, the new generation, younger than you, I mean, them guys that was just here a minute ago, did you hear that story? One of them guys has just started racing. That family's raced ever since I can remember. Now he's got a grandson coming along, going to drive. So that's what it's all about. It's just trying to let him know, or you know, where you can just pace it right on. You've heard things today you never heard before. So, you know, just pace it on.
Just keep it going.
Keep it going. Keep on rolling. The future's bright.
I like that. So we are now going to pull the Monte Carlo onto the track and get some pictures with it.
We're pulling onto the track to take some pictures now.
Oh my God, it's actually happening.
Wow. Did you think that the first track the Monte Carlo would be on would be North Wilkesboro?
Never ever. This is cool. So hot in here, but I don't even care. This is just the coolest thing ever. Like a little kid in a candy store right now. If you guys like this history stuff, you need to subscribe and you need to check out the Racing History Nerd Zone playlist on the channel. Can you explain what this was?
Well, this was the exhibit hall. Every year they'd have a fair, and this was how you paid your money here, and then you went in the fair, and they had exhibits on the walls and in the middle, and you went up through here and seen this exhibit. This was the Rotary Club that did that. When you come out the other end, after you looked at all the exhibits, then you were in the midway where the fair was at the inside.
Huh.
Pretty short and simple.
That's cool.
A lot of memorabilia in here, a lot of things in here. And sure enough, yeah. Old signs, old signage.
Pontiac signs. Cool.
Yeah.
Did your uncle gonna keep this up in here?
Sure
Is this
did.
like his?
Yeah, right there's his desk. There's some old pictures. Here's the guy that, here's Enoch Staley that, you know, had the Speedway. Here's Paul, here at the big sign. Here's Willie Clay Call. You've heard of him, Call Distillery.
Yeah.
Right there's the man, that's Willie Clay right there. And there he is standing over to the right, it's Moonshine Steel. Yep.
I think the history of it, you know, like the Moonshiners built this track and then NASCAR kind of took it over. I think that wasn't really talked about much, and I think that's a really cool aspect of it to talk about.
Exactly, it is. I don't know, I mean, the stories are it's about all the same story, but like I told you earlier, when it was started here, Enoch Staley and Bill France Sr. were basketball players together. They met through that. They become best friends. They both loved to run equipment. Enoch had a motor grader, Bill France Sr. had a motor grader. So they went off and started NASCAR, and you know, it got in trouble. It you know, got tight times, you know, so they needed some money. They called on Enoch to call all the bootleggers together, and they came here, and he gathered up the bootleggers and got them some money to keep NASCAR rolling.
So the bootleggers saved NASCAR.
Pretty much.
Did not know that either.
From all the stories you hear, that's pretty much what happened.
Wow.
And whether you think it's bad or whatever you think about it, it's the facts, and it is what it started here in May of 1947, and Clay Earls was up there at Martinsville, and his was next, and it just become what it is today.
Wow. Yeah, so we're in the backstretch at Junior Johnson grandstand now, or at least what's next to it. This is crazy.
Sherry was bad.
You can imagine all the parking out here. Fields full of classic cars. Oh. Barbed wire. Look how much branches they cut off that tree. It was probably all grown up through here.
Yeah, it's fresh.
They did a really good job cleaning this place up. Look at this elevator contraption. Oh, that must be broken glass from up there. Wow. I'm so glad we get to film all of this, because it will eventually not be here anymore. And speaking to the future, if you're watching this years from now, comment what year you're watching it in. Oh, this is a trailer. It's got the pintle hitch thing on there. That's so cool. What?
There's a cinder block over here. I wish Kenny was here.
Dang, we could have a North Wilkesboro cinder block. They just made this trailer thing, parked it right here, and we're like, yep, we're good. Something tells me they are not going to use that again. Anyone know what year this is from? Comment. I'm surprised this hasn't been all ripped apart, honestly. Yep. Once was a chair.
This is like a really small chair. Like elementary chair. I knew it!
What?
There was like pieces of toilet over
There were pieces of the toilet, so this was a bathroom.
Yeah, I guarantee this was a bathroom.
Let's poke out here and see how the thing looks. It's odd to see grass under grandstands. Well, I guess probably back in the day it was all just gravel, and grass has grown here over time. And
This looks smart.
this is absolutely, some heads were dinged on there back in the day.
Wow, yeah.
And you're 5'9", and you're almost, you're like getting there. Let's see what the view is like from this press box on the backstretch. Looks like probably the newest stuff here. Oh, wow, it's actually locked. I'm shocked. Why is there a bowl up here? Like you got cats living in here or something. This is awesome. Wow, this is really good shape.
Yeah. Oh, they must have been doing stuff in here. There's no way it looks that good. Look how white the freaking paint is.
I don't know. Can drink layout, stand 6. I don't know. It might just be that nice in here.
Wow.
You got a bird's nest.
Well, I'm sure they had these closed.
Yeah, they probably were. They probably opened these back up.
His hands.
Welcome to the 21st century, sign. You are gender neutral now. I'm offended. Yeah, I'd say they did a good job boarding stuff off if the inside of these things are in that good a shape. I mean, the roof is...
I mean, the paint looks fresh.
Yeah, they fixed the roof, clean it out. That's a perfectly reusable stand. And I'll be upset if they don't use hand lettered signs for all this stuff again. Just have to hand paint it. That's just, oh, this is awesome.
Huh.
I'm shocked at how nice the paint is in here. Okay, so now we're in between turns 1 and 2. Everything gets older as you move more towards the front stretch. This is kind of a neat way to approach it that was unintentional. Electrical equipment. Oh yeah, more toilets.
This is the bigger, nicer freezer. And the one that collects water.
This bathroom had to be repainted, there's no way. Well, maybe. It's all faded over here. This is only nice because of the...
Never touched the sun.
Yeah, they probably just came in here with a pressure washer and cleaned some stuff off.
You can go in here.
Oh, let's check out the men's room at North Wilkesboro.
This is scary.
Yeah.
Why is it like that?
I don't know, they got spiders. That's no urinals here, we just got troughs.
Do you just like pee on the wall and it goes down in there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
Yep. I mean, normally it's like a metal trough, but I guess...
Damn, you men are gross.
The
Wow.
whole hillside of
Imagine you're
trees.
just like drunk and you just like fall.
Yeah, they didn't care about no safety back then. They were just like, if you're a drunk idiot, you're gonna fall down the hill.
And then we're all gonna laugh at you and you're gonna have to rub the dirt off.
Yep.
Or rub some dirt on it and you'll be fine.
Just how it should be. And the roof is conveniently gone.
It's nicer.
What are you woofing at, dog? Woof, woof, woof.
Look how much smaller the seats were back then too.
Yeah.
Because people used to be a lot smaller.
There's one picture I'm thinking of where it's taken from like this angle and there's just all kinds of garbage. Like chicken wings and empty cups all through here. Like the 80s cars on the track. Now we're in the infield. This looks like probably like the check-in or registration thing. Kind of like Rockingham had one. Like drivers come in here and you sign in. This is intense.
That electrical stuff doesn't look that old.
No, it doesn't. It's in pretty good shape.
Oh, there was carpet in there.
Mmm.
Fancy. They had carpet.
God, that thing squeaks loud. I hope Tyson steps up and sponsors this place again. Wow, look, there were even trees growing in this fence here. this whole everything in here was just full of vegetation. I would love to climb up in that thing. It'd be terrifying, but I would do it. This is a good gauge of the elevation change on here. The front stretch coming down, and that if you look at the track the way it is,
you don't even realize it when you're on the track, really.
No, you don't really notice it, but then you see how the infield stays flat, and there's just like a big hole right here as everything else comes back up.
Cool.
You got more trees going in here.
So you're just like building momentum around this. You come out of that turn like really hard.
Yeah, that's just you're just ripping, kind of relying on the banking to come up as the hill comes up to kind of catch you in your momentum. That's awesome. And I would love to see something come back on bias ply tires to just have those cars slipping and sliding around again. Some of the footage from here, I think there used to be a grandstand here that fell down. All that's left is the sign. I don't know what this little stand is over here. Not sure. As far as I'm aware, no one's ever come in here and walked around with it in this state. So I've tried to find that stuff. I've always wanted to do this. If you like this stuff, go check out the Racing History Nerd Zone playlist on the channel and make sure you're subscribed. And if you click the little bell, you get a notification when we post something. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the channel that you will like if you're into this stuff too. They just tore these out a few months ago. There's some bathrooms back there. Man, there's a lot of people here. A lot of people. I think it's interesting that this is like regular old fence post, and it's just anchored at an angle back before they had the technology or the thought to do the big arcing catch fences that, you know, the modern tracks have. This is just regular old fence. Nothing special about it.
My allergies are killing me. There's too many trees here.
Yeah, me too. Seeing all the layers of faded paint here is cool. Like you can see the blue North Wilkesboro would have started there. And then they had something else. It's a NASCAR Winston Cup. And then you can see there's like older letters behind that. This video was filmed over 2 different days. The second half of the video was actually filmed before the first half with Ronnie, so that's why we're like speculating about things that were answered already. If you read the little subtitle things, you would know that. Really glad that we were able to do this, because we're kind of thinking that with, you know, they were tearing down buildings and all that stuff, that we'd never get to see North Wilkesboro in its
original state.
Yeah, we thought we'd pretty much given up on trying
being able to go there at all. I mean, we couldn't get anybody to respond beforehand.
Yeah, if you want to see more about the Monte Carlo, we have build videos of all that stuff. That's kind of like what we do in here. We, you know, build cars when we're not doing history videos. Just for us though. Lately it's been more history than cars. Or you've just come across
waiting
all
on
this.
Parts is
yeah,
like the biggest pain.
Yeah, waiting on a lot of parts, so then we go do history stuff. And this is how it is. So it's a little bit of both. For you real G's who may not know, we started another channel called Stapleton 42 Extra, where we post all of the, you know, nonsense that we can't make into a real video here because it would hurt the performance of the rest of the channel, like fixing AC on the Newell or like your garden, things like that, just to get to know us better. So you
dog birthday.
Yeah, dog birthday cake. And if you like the hat or the shirt that I'm wearing, Christian's not wearing one right now, usually is.
Metallica is cool too, okay?
Yeah, it is cool. Where can people find that at?
I don't know, I got this probably like 4 years ago.
I meant our stuff.
Oh, StapletonAutoWorks.com.
Who packs all of them?
I pack all of your orders and we write notes.
Yep, we write notes, sign them from both of us. You get a cool sticker, like a little, you know, we throw in things from companies we work with, like Holly or Pennzoil. You get decals, keychains, whatever. You never know. It always comes with bonus things. We're just glad you're here, because you are what enables us to do this stuff.
If you're into the NASCAR history stuff, we got some really cool stuff from a guy named Greg who worked at the Stavola Brothers building. Like, we hung up his hickory shirt on the wall.
You want to take that down and show it to him?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did a full
I hung it up. This isn't like where it's permanently gonna go, but I thought that it was cool to hang up.
Yep, that's Bobby Allison right there. 1988.
Really cool stuff.
Yep, former racetracks, former race shops. We do all that. Oh, did you find the other one?
Yeah, I put this one out.
Yeah, and excuse the mess in here. We got everything pushed out of the way because the AC is in the process of being installed.
You know, for the past month.
Yeah, it's taken quite a while. But this is another neat one.
Yeah. Gotta showcase that part.
Ford.
We don't have any Ford stuff in here.
Yeah, well, we don't have any Fords yet. The Monte Carlo has a 6.2 liter LS engine in it with an LSA supercharger. Yep, the Monte Carlo's engine is the original engine from this thing. Makes like 2,000 horsepower. All built on jack stands by us. This engine, 840 horsepower blueprint big block, is going in that 1993 Suburban. And we have a flooded Rolls Royce waiting to be built after that. But all that stuff, everything we just mentioned, is on the channel. You can find it. If you just met us, we want to get to know you, so leave a comment, tell us where you're from, where you found us, all that stuff. We're probably the most interactive people you will ever find in the comment section of any channel that has a comparable subscriber count, and you can freaking take that to the bank. I will contest anybody that nobody answers more comments than we do for a channel that big that doesn't have somebody working for them that has like access to the channel and does it on their behalf. It's, if you get a reply from us, it's actually us.
Yeah, it's just us two.
And a one-eyed dog.
Yeah. He's so chill.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not mad at me right now.
He's too hot to be mad.
I know we just threw a lot at you, but we know you can handle it because you watched this entire video already. Boom, you're awesome.